Hello and welcome to my therapy session. Have you ever felt entrapped by these cogs in this corrupted world's machine? First-time watchers of the channel are probably thinking they are witnessing some deluded man completely losing his sanity right about now, and they ain't exactly wrong. But the reason I'm saying this is because I truly have lost the battle of attrition against the ever-present algorithms shoving all of their gathered data up my throat, because today I'll finally talk about the most popular cockroach you've ever seen. And listen, I know it kinda became a joke on this channel to use very extreme terms in the titles, with them often referring to yours truly, but in this case there's no exaggeration under any possible definition of this word. It's not up to interpretation, it's not there for a message I'll deliver later on in the video, it's not supposed to make you think and bring up discussions. It's literally just the objective truth. And I'll prove it while also updating you on what's up with this Mickey Mouse that just swallowed 10 pounds of sand sounding us. Also, I was wondering whether to make it a career speedrun or not. But I'll be real with you, while the people we've done speedruns on done absolutely horrendous shit and are despicable, they at least had, and still have, a career you could show something other than,
oh yeah, they got their backs, they were popular,
as positive parts of their channels. Refer to what they did at the very least semi-right to gain that success, so that the video wouldn't be 100% just shitting on what they've built. Because that wouldn't be a proper career speedrun in my opinion. But in case of N3on, I deadass couldn't find a single positive outlier, one thing that I could be like, oh yeah, that's why the audience enjoyed his streams. And that's how I reached the conclusion that he's far closer to the subjects of one of my first successful videos, the Island Boys. Yeah, anybody remembers them? Hopefully not. So instead of giving him a proper narration, we're just gonna treat him like literally every single other being in the universe is treating him, as a punching bag that people like to laugh at, and as a disgusting presence that others like to judge. And for very good reasons too. What are the reasons, you ask? Strap in and watch to the end to see how it somehow keeps getting fucking worse. It's quite a phenomenon, really. N3on gained popularity when he was just 15 years old, which admittedly is rarely a good thing to one's psyche, but in this case it's not about when he gained wide online recognition, but how and by whom. Yeah, if it came as a surprise to you that N3on got backpacked into getting infamous, you are more innocently naive than me trying to hope the world's gonna be a much better place in the future from time to time. He was promoted by
N3on,
who's best known for being a friend of Andrew Tate once upon a time. Do I need to say more? So yeah, considering the environment around him, some red flags were beginning to show themselves, if I say so myself. But hold on. If you think the most opportunistic creatures in the universe, streamers, would just bring random kids into their business, then you're of course entirely wrong. Why did
N3on,
talk with seemingly random 15-year-old? Well, because that teenager faked his death and went viral this way before. Of course. I'd talk about how morally wrong this is, how disgusted I feel, how absolutely fucking appalling exploiting something as horrible as this real-life issue that people realistically deal with is. But I trust literally every single person watching it understands these feelings perfectly by now, so we're just gonna proceed as if nothing happened, okay? Because there's more where that came from, and to be completely transparent with you, it's not exactly in my interest to keep verbally dunking on kids, but while his young younger years can absolutely be highly attributed to the surroundings around him, influencing him insanely negatively, it's no excuse to behave this way forever, while also heavily profiting from it along the way, thus being rewarded by some of the worst day-to-day behavior imaginable. Yes, social media actively encourages this shit, although that's probably an entirely different topic for another day. Let's proceed on to what's been happening lately. You know, ever since then, N3on has done some maturing. He's grown a lot. He's obviously not exactly a kid anymore, and he was able to turn a new leaf, become more of an independent mind, and be more responsible with the fame he garnered. Psych! He has become much fucking worse now, progressively falling from the slide of human decency till his face first in concrete, slowly turning into a stain on normal people's days. When he was recording himself playing games and acting like a child time traveler that got sent into the future straight from the Xbox Live days, who gave a fuck really? Just another loud, cocky guy in the world of influencers talking shit online. Wow, that's news to me. But when he started taking his completely out of touch, bigoted, sexist and racist ass outside for the public to see, that's really where the complete downfall of him as a human being began to be very apparent to everybody around. Even though, if you ask me, it was pretty obvious after he continuously just couldn't help but to make racist remarks to random people on the internet. But hey, what do I know? That ever-repeating behavior was just trolling, playing character. Don't be so sensitive. God, that's stupid. Fake relationships involving the online influencer and an OnlyFans model that constantly disrespects him. Check. A group straight out of Hollywood on life support after surviving 3 consecutive heart attacks. Check. Ada God complex, feeling so much above common folks because, well, he's a streamer. And we just brought ourselves a classic tale of controversy abusing cloud goblin whose name is Rengesh Mutama. And yes, I used his full government name like a disappointed parent would. That's how you know this shit is serious. His OnlyFans girlfriend is obviously just using him to gain more attention, banking off of his popularity spike. And while I'm a hate the game, not the player kind of guy in the case of OnlyFans, I genuinely believe they are just exploiting the opportunity like it's a fucking speedrun, and it's understandable because it's those fucking morons that are buying it who are actually dumb, not the creators. They are getting their bucks like thieves, but fully legally. The customers just open their pockets and ass cheeks for them to take everything they have. It's just so much not my world, these kinds of relationships. It's so fucking fake that my second grade theater performance had more real emotions put into it than they ever had for each other over all of those years at this point. I think it showcases really well what fame at early age can do. People will just use you. You'll use them, and you won't see anything wrong with it because that's how it works in the world of these influencers. It's sad, really. Other than his crazy stance, such as proclaiming he will talk his shit to Donald Trump, of all people, at an UFC event and thus getting denied the entry. What a fucking shocker. He streamed himself outside in the shops, parks, just places of convenience everybody visits, and proceeded to do the same shit he did on the internet with random people. Shit talk them, bother them at work, make their life worse and their day just crap in general. Imagine you're at your shift at the local mall shop, minding your own business, doing work, and suddenly some balding at 18 from meth overdose looking ass motherfucker with a paid bodyguard on him begins to just slander, body shame, insult, bother and threaten you for absolutely no reason. You'd think that person is a completely disgusting vermin, no? Well, that's exactly what N3on was doing on his live streams. So he wasn't only shaming you, he was also broadcasting it to about 40,000 people live without your consent. Worst streamer at this point? Well, maybe. I mean, you honestly can't go much worse worse than that without getting your stream completely eradicated on the spot. But the competition is pretty stiff, so I'm not entirely certain just yet. N3on banned from Kick after threatening to dox and SA a young fan. Yeah, I think that's a wrap. I'm showing you the exact quote of what he said during a live while the young's face was on the screen for everybody to see. So yeah, after this he got banned from even Kick, which was like the only platform he wasn't banned on yet at that point. He got silently unbanned quickly after though, because Kick is such a great device for free speech. Truly some inspirational shit right there. Ever since then he's done some streams of his and his girlfriend's trips, where he was getting detained by police twice. Which isn't much, but it's weird it happened twice. Once even trying to act tough for about 2 seconds before the policeman approached him and he shifted into, "Oh, actually, good sir, we haven't done anything wrong. Please let us bask in this beautiful sunlight without any issues. We're not looking for trouble." Real quick. And second time in Dubai. Which, let me just say, as soon as you hear someone like that going to Dubai, hey, I'm not a betting man, but I'd be willing to bet that that person will get arrested. From what I've heard, you do not want to fuck around there because you're gonna find out. They had some issues with recording their hotel there before, but it overall didn't end in anything. But on
April 7th,
they got called out by first the guards at the shop and later on the police for recording everybody on camera when it's not legal to record people without consent there. W law, by the way. By the way, I just realized me showing you like this without permission is technically illegal. So if you could subscribe to show your consent to authorities this way, I'd be extremely FBI, open up! Subscribe! A lot of people proclaimed he got arrested, which he did later on, but not exactly during this instance. He got detained because while they were already trying to talk to authorities about the situation, they wanted to record this shit again. And it's obviously illegal. That's why they were there in the first place. So N3on got his passport taken away from him for it, which I'm not gonna lie, this might look suspicious because this Velma level adaptation of Dexter's Laboratory after a time skip is known for creating false scenarios like some kind of an F-tier wannabe script writer straight out of Wattpad. So it makes him not exactly trustworthy, but if he did fake this scenario, then it was an insanely risky maneuver, because if the real police found out they were impersonating cops, I don't think N3on has the balls for a stunt like this. It could cost him too much in Dubai. Will N3on go to prison? Boo! This is update pass, not here. I kinda knew I'm gonna add new information while working on the video. It's been a couple of days since I've recorded the first part, and ever since then a whole lot of nothing has actually happened regarding his situation. I'm not gonna sit here and act all excited talking about all the gossip and misinformation N3on and people on the internet have been spewing regarding this goober, or how my prediction was basically correct. Will N3on go to prison is the question you're all willing to ask. The answer to everybody's disarray is, in my opinion, no. So I'm just gonna debunk some of the BS and probable lies very quickly. If you ever believed a person in jail died because of a flood in Dubai and that it was N3on specifically, you are a very gullible person. This is not a diss, it's a fact. This is real life, and how the fuck would that ever logically happen is beyond my level of comprehension. N3on claimed he was the king of the prison, that everyone knew him there and gave him high fives using their dicks, but he most probably was, as I said before, only jailed. Jailed and imprisoned are two very different things. People jailed usually don't spend more than a year, at worst, in confinement. In fact, it's usually like 40 days, or they are waiting for a bail just like N3on did. Him saying they lent him beds is fucking hilarious, implying that he originally didn't have a bed assigned to him. My man, that would just mean they took it from you before. That's not exactly treated with respect. Jails are mostly for people awaiting trials, and pickpocketers. Unlike in prisons where people feel like they have nothing to lose anymore, they don't want to make their situations worse because of bad behavior, so they probably didn't give a single fuck about him. Maybe like 3 people approached him saying, "Hey, I know you, what's up?" But that was probably it. Yeah, basically don't believe anything Mr. Alleged Spotted Views liar says, and take with a big grain of salt everything the internet says about him as well. Instead of looking at him like he's some kind of a privileged celebrity, just use basic logic for a basic person and you'll get most of the events correctly. Probably. N3on seemingly learned nothing throughout all of this, even though he definitely had to pay quite a hefty amount to get out of there. But hey, not like I expected self-reflection this far into his madness. And you shouldn't either. Anyway, that's about it. I'll let myself take the stage to properly end this video using what I like to call words. Here's the previously mentioned video about 2 N3on-like creatures who'd sell their mother for 5 minutes of fame. So that's a fun binge. Thank you for watching and hopefully I'll see you on the next session. Just look at these tough ones. Scared to death and scared to look. They shook. 'Cause there ain't no such thing as halfway crooks.